Hey guys, this is CRISOL, and today we are going to show you how to brainstorm your own product and how to manage your new product's budget. So let's get started. First, let's brainstorm. Now, why are brainstorming and ideation so important? Well, it's an excellent way to generate new ideas. It also helps a person get into an entrepreneur state of mind, which is cool because an entrepreneur brings unconventional ideas and creativity to life in a business setting. So, with the help of brainstorming, you might be able to own your own business someday. Let's go over the steps of brainstorming. So, the first step would be observation. This step is where you observe and define a problem. For example, a problem that I have in my life is not having a quick and easy way to get home from school. The step two would be to identify your solutions. So, how are you going to fix the problem? In my case, I could fix my problem by using a scooter, riding a motorized skateboard, rollerblading, biking, etc. Step 3, decide. Choose the best solution out of the list you came up with. Since I'm only choosing one option, I think the best solution is the motorized skateboard for me. It seems like the quickest option and is not even super complex. Step 4 would be implementation. This is the step where you start creating your product. You can try this process at home, pause the video, write out the 4 steps, and brainstorm on your own. Now that you have a product, let's manage the budget for making it. This process is also divided into different little tasks just to make it easier for you to understand. So for this video, I would use the motorized skateboard product that I just came up with as an example, but follow along and answer these questions about the product you came up with. We have a worksheet also you can use to make this process easy to follow. You can print it out from the link in the comment section below. Make sure to write your product at the top of the sheet, and let's start going through the questions now. How much do you want to sell your product for? And this is going to be the price of our product. For my product, I will set my price at $100. And please keep this in mind that when pricing your product, always think of your possible customer, the price your competitor charges, and how much profit do you want to make. So let's go over question number 2. Let's say you guys are making 20 products in a day. So what do you think? How many people would you hire to help you? And in my case, I think I will need 2 more people to help me. And the third question is going to be, what are our sales for the day? And to calculate this, we take the 20 products made per day and multiply it by the price we set for our product. So for my motorized skateboard, it would be 20 multiplied by $100, and the answer comes out to be 2,000 sales for the day. Next, we have to look at our expenses, which is how much it takes to make and sell the product. We already have given you the amount it costs to rent a space for one day, and it's going to be $50. And let's say that we are using Facebook to advertise our product and make it more visible. So we are gonna need $30 to do the advertisements, and it's already been provided. Note that advertising is a common business strategy to promote and increase sales for a new product, but we also need to know labor costs and material costs, which we are going to look at in the next slide. So let us now look at how to calculate labor cost. So for that, we're going to take the number of workers, we're going to multiply it by the wages, the daily wages workers are making every single day. And it's going to give us the labor cost. So in our case, we take 2 workers, we multiply it by, since they're getting paid $80 a day, and we multiply it by the number 80. It gives us the answer, $160. So this is going to be our total labor cost. We have also given you a table in the back of the worksheet, so you can use that table to calculate the total labor cost. You will be using the same method, multiply the number of labors by pay per day, and calculate the total labor cost. Then at the end, fill in the blanks in the worksheet. Lastly, we have to figure out how much the material will cost per product. In the space provided on your worksheet, start listing the parts that make up the product. For my motorized skateboard, I need a board, wheels, and a small motor. Now let's find out the cost for each part. The board costs $10, the wheels cost $2, and the small motor costs $25. And remember that if you're having trouble figuring out how much the parts cost for your product, you can always search for the price on the internet. Next, write down how many of each part you need for your product. For my skateboard, I need one board, four wheels, and one motor. We then multiply these two numbers to find out the overall cost for each part. So, for example, for the board, we are going to multiply $10 by 1, and the answer would be $10. For wheels, it would be $2 multiplied by 4, and the answer is 8. For the motor, $25 multiplied by 1, and it gives us $25. And at the end, we are going to add all of these numbers together. And for our example, we get $43 per skateboard. One more thing you have to keep in mind is that when you are calculating the price of the material per product, then you're going to have to multiply the total answer, which in our case was $43, by the total number of skateboards you're producing every single day. So after you do the multiplication and the math, for our example, the answer comes out to be $860. And you can see in the first line in the multiplication, 3 times 0 is 0, so that's why we get a 0. 4 times 0 is also 0, that's why we get a 0 over here. And it gives us the answer $860. So here is the total material cost for making 20 skateboards. And this is how exactly it should look like. If you've used the worksheet provided in the link, you just have to fill in the blanks. Nothing too complicated. You have to list the name of the parts that you've used that make up the product, and then you have to list the cost per unit and then the number of parts needed. You have to multiply both numbers. That will give you the total cost of the part. Add all of them together to get the cost of the product, and then let's say you're selling 20 products per day, or you're producing 20 products per day. You can multiply the number 20 with the total material cost per product, and then in our case, we got the answer $860. So this is how you find the cost of the materials if you go through the worksheet. So just to give you guys a little recap of what we've been calculating and doing in the previous slides, the sales are going to be $2,000. Let's move on to expenses now. As you can see, the rent and the advertisement, or let's say marketing expenses, were given to us. So $50 for the rent and $30 for the ads per day. And then we move on to labor and material. We had to go through a process and each step to calculate the cost of labor and the cost of material, which was made pretty easy if you use the worksheet. So yeah, that's pretty much the sales and the expenses. So let's figure out the last step, which is going to be the profit. The profit is the money you've earned from the sales after taking off the total expense. So let's see over here, our sales are $2,000. Our total expense is going to be $1,100, which is the total of rent, ads, labor, and materials. So we are going to subtract $1,100 from the sales, $2,000, and the answer we are getting over here is $900. So the profits are going to be equal to $900. Also, just one more thing is that for the profit, it's possible for your answer to be positive or negative. Now, if you did all of this math for your own product and you get a negative number, that means that your price per product is too low or expenses are too high, and thus you can get more profit. One other thing to think about is inventory. It may be tempting to take that $900, put it in your pocket, and keep it for yourself. But you could ultimately make more money by investing that money in inventory. But what is inventory? Inventory is simply finished products or product parts that you have on hand. Then you have parts ready to make more products, or you already have products made and ready to sell. We should invest our inventory because imagine what if a customer wants to buy our skateboard, but we do not have any in stock. That will result in lost sales and unhappy customers, and we would not want that to happen. So if I took that $900 and used it to buy the parts to make more motorized skateboards, I would have more motorized skateboards to sell. And I can keep generating more and more money. And who doesn't like more money? All right, you're all set to start your own business. If you liked our video, please subscribe or comment. Also, in the comments below, let us know what your product is and how much profit you got. See you next time.